Hi everyone, hope you're all well. I'm the Plantaholic and let's have a look around my exotic garden. So after a few weeks of not doing any filming in my garden, I thought it was due a film today, and as you can see the garden's looking quite good now. It's heading towards peak time for peak growth. We've had some fantastic weather. We've had temperatures up to the low 30s or almost 90 Fahrenheit. The weather's cooled off now and we've had lots of rain, so everything's been growing really well with all the heat and all the rain. So I've just thought we'd start off from the lower end of the exotic garden for a change, and you can see there's a lovely Musa Helens Stoney Eye here, which I grew from seed a couple of years ago. It's not coming to flower yet, but hopefully next year. I've got Pothos spotty dottie. Unlike the lobelia, which is tender, I have to bring inside for the winter, this is completely hardy, herbaceous, and it dies right down to the ground. But obviously in the spring you get these fantastic star-shaped mottled leaves. Absolutely stunning. Got some ferns here. This is quite a shady part of the garden. This is Phlebodium aureum here, with these gorgeous glaucous blue foliage, and you can see these dots on the top are telling me that the spores are starting to appear underneath. They are indeed. So these are obviously the fern seeds, and the arrangement of these is called Sori, S-O-R-I. Absolutely beautiful. I've got a lovely Pilea around here. This is a house plant, Pilea Moon Valley. Absolutely stunning foliage, but it does love a cool shady spot outside for the summer, so it does really well here. Let's look around on the other side. Got another house plant here, Begonia rex, a cortivar of that, absolutely stunning. And I have some Sayafiya ferns and Woodwardia. So this is a tree fern, Sayafiya. It's got a small trunk on that. It will get up to 2-3 metres plus in time. This fern next to it is Woodwardia radicans, which is a chain fern. It's getting quite big now, and you can see some bulbils forming underneath. Have a Splenium nidus, a houseplant fern again, in a hanging basket on the shed. And on the other side is the Nephilepis or Boston fern. On the other side, another houseplant which I'll bring in for the winter, and a staghorn fern, Platycerium, which I'll also bring inside. Streptocarpus has done really well, Fortuna, which I planted on Easter Sunday, so do look out for the video on when I planted that back in April. And the Russ Tiger Eyes is gone for it this year. Absolutely amazing amount of growth with all this rain that we've had. It will look absolutely fantastic in the autumn, and obviously in October I will post a video then to show you what it looks like then. But obviously back onto the summer colour, and you can see fantastic Heleniums. I have several Heleniums around the gardens. I think they are labelled, I've forgotten the names because I have quite a few now, but these aren't really truly exotic. They are hardy perennials which I leave outside all year, from North America in the wild, from the prairies, and you can see they're much loved by bees, and I could just sit here for hours really watching them. Absolutely fantastic. And can you see all the different shades of oranges and reds and yellows in them? Absolutely beautiful perennials, and they'll work in any garden. These flower from June, July all the way through to the first frosts, depending on the variety. Other plants that have been doing well recently are the dahlias, Hemerocallis, and again although they look pretty exotic, they're completely hardy. This one's one of my favourites. This is called Summer Wine, and I love this one not only for its pink flowers but its pleated foliage. So it's a brilliant foliage plant for the rest of the year when it's not in flower. They're called daylilies because each flower only lasts for one day, but they produce so many of them that it flowers for many weeks. So we've got a regersea there, which is completely hardy, and the Hedychiums or ginger lilies I've left out for several winters now. I find them pretty hardy. I think this one's Forestii. And the Tetrapanax Papyrifera rex, well, look at those leaves, do I need to say any more? Absolutely huge, and it will get taller in time and create a tall trunk, and it means then that I'll be able to see my plants again underneath. You can see that I've got some more Heleniums there behind the fantastic Scheffler Taiwaniana, which is a choice, pretty hardy evergreen shrub. And the Vasconcelia or the hardy pawpaws have done really well. They haven't flowered very well this year, so obviously no fruit unfortunately, but I can see here there are some flowers just starting to open now. There's the first one there, and you can see the buds in the centre. So if we head on round towards the top end of the garden, this Colocasia esculenta fontanesii is done really well, and at this time of the year they produce flowers. So when it gets really hot like it was the other week, you can see here there's a spent flower here. This was yellow in colour, and when it's open it smells like fresh papaya or fresh pawpaw. But obviously they don't flower very often in the UK, but we grow them for the gorgeous black stems and those elephant ear leaves, and they look superb underneath with those black veins with the sun shining through the leaf. Another plant next to this which looks great with the sun shining through the leaf is the Cercis forest pansy, a hardy deciduous shrub, heart-shaped leaves, and you can see the purple on the top, and when you look underneath in the sun they go red, and they look great underneath and against the blue sky. Here I have another ginger lily or Hedychium, and this one's called Stephen, and I noticed earlier it's actually got a flower bud on it. So this is my first Hedykya flower bud for this year. They flower every year, but this is the first one I've noticed, and it's been an excellent year for Hedychiums in the UK this year because we've had a good mix of lots of rain as well as warmth. That should flower in end of August, September I think. See here a self-seeded eryngium or sea holly. Those gorgeous blue steely flowers, very very sharp. So obviously not a plant for a garden with children obviously, but if it's tucked out the way it's pretty safe. We've got Scheffler here, a house plant. I have to bring it in my conservatory for the winter, and this is doing really well. They love being outside for the summertime, lots of rain, and it does well. Have more Heleniums here. I do need to divide these next year because they are going a bit mad, but they are absolutely stunning. I love them. So I will split them in April next year. And next to that is the Streptocarpus wagnerianus, a hardy palm. Really good for windy locations because of the shorter, stiffer leaves compared to Streptocarpus fortunei. And here is a plant called painter's palette. It's a Persicaria painter's palette, an unusual mix of cream, green and red in the foliage. But I've noticed next to that I've got a self-sown potato, which obviously I could harvest when it comes into flower. That tells me it's ready to dig up and harvest a few small potatoes. So next to the Heleniums at the back is a hardy Salvia. This is Salvia involucrata, and you can see the vivid pink flowers. Now some people probably don't like the combination of the orange of the Heleniums and the pink. Very Christopher Lloyd combination. Christopher Lloyd was one of the greatest gardeners of the 20th century at Great Dixter Garden in East Sussex, England, and he loved to do planting combinations such as this to shock people and to just get them talking about plants and plant combinations. This plant here with the drooping foliage is a hardy perennial. It's a hardy sunflower, but it's not really grown for its tiny flowers. It's grown for this fantastic droopy foliage, and this is Helianthus salicifolius, which means sunflower with leaves like a willow, and you can see why. But I love that droopy foliage blowing around in the breeze. I think more people should grow it. Next to that is a giant balsam, or impatiens, or busy lizzie, and this one is Impatiens tinctoria, and you can see the lovely white flowers on that, blushed with pink, and they are scented in the evenings. Now this is 2 meters tall, 6 feet tall, and I've left that planted outside with no protection for 2 years. So the root system should be getting quite big now, so I expect that to come up every year as a hardy perennial now. So just look at the Salvia again. A close up of those flowers. Beautiful cherry pink. So if you watched my videos back in April, you'll see me pruning the Eucalyptus gunnii and the Acacia dealbata, and you can see they've really grown well after that pruning. And even though we had a cold spring in the UK in 2021 and things got off to a slow start, they're starting to catch up now, and yeah, looking really good. Another daylily here, this one's called Sammy Russell, with these red flowers in the yellow centres, and of course again completely hardy, just had a bit of tropical colour. So my Lychnis chalcedonica, or Maltese Cross, has finished flowering now, more or less. In fact, there's a few flowers here, just left here, but most of them have gone over. I need to deadhead them, but I notice there's lots of shield bugs in these at the moment, so taking a bit of shelter, so I will leave these on for a few days until they've left, and then I'll cut off the spent flower heads. Now shield bugs are sapsuckers, but they say in small quantities they're not really a problem. And I never kill anything anyway. I never kill any wildlife. I just let them get on with themselves. And I think eventually nature does balance itself out after a while anyway. Persicaria red dragon, looking really good. Again, a hardy perennial. And if you looked at my video in late May, I did the Chelsea chop on that, and you can see it's grown back all of that growth since the end of May, so it's easily 1 metre tall now, or 1 point, or what's that, I can't remember now, over 3 feet in height. See one of my bananas here, Ensetti Morelli Eye, and you can see the lovely foliage with the sun shining through the leaf. Absolutely stunning, and of course vital for a tropical garden. They grow really fast as well. So if you've watched my videos quite a lot, you'll know I have several bananas growing in my garden, and this one is the Helens hybrid, which I grew from seed possibly last year, if not the year before, and it's growing really quickly now. Actually, it's the same height as the Ensetti Morelli Eye, but this Musa Helens hybrid will produce edible fruit, maybe next year or the year after, hopefully, if it's big enough. But it's got the red undersides to the leaf and the white bloom on the trunk, which I never touch because you can wipe that off. And it's doing really well. I'd say that is getting on for 5 feet tall now, so about 1.5 metres. So it's really gone for it this year, as has the Musa Basju, which I've overwintered last year. And if you look at my video in October 2020, you'll see how I did that. And then next to that is the encetimonte balardii, which is my tallest banana at the moment. It's absolutely gone mad with the heat and the water. In dry spells I water all of my bananas every day, and I use washing up water usually. I'm on a water meter, so I do like to do my bit for the environment and to try and keep my water bills down. And of course I do save rainwater as well in my water butts. And down here is Musa sikkimensis cross paradisiaca, which again I grew from seed 2 years ago. It's been slower than the others, but it's really going for it compared to last year. So you may have seen a splash of colour in amongst the bananas. If I just pan back, and you can see that whole border now, which is looking absolutely stunning. I'm sure you'll agree. And you can see that I've got some dahlias there and Alstroemeria Indian Summer. So it's looking really nice now. So I just love orange and red flowers in particular. They're just so tropical looking. And you'll see in my last video the Alstroemeria Indian Summer has fallen apart. It's a sign that it needs splitting, so I'll split it in April next year. But a hardy perennial with these gorgeous red, orange and yellow flowers. You can see why I love to grow that one. The lovely dark green, almost purple leaves. And next to that is my Dahlia Canora's Sunset. So vivid red and yellow. It's difficult to catch the colour correctly on film, but you can see it's a cacti type, and this I actually left outside all winter. So it died down complete to the ground, and it survived what, -6, -7 last year, which is amazing. And I didn't even mulch it, in fact I just didn't get round to it. So it's amazing that it survived. It's very top heavy. I had to stake it earlier on because it was starting to smother the plants underneath. So I have a zebra grass, Miscanthus gold bar, and I have some Ipomia sweet Caroline green. So it's a sweet potato for foliage, and I've got some irisines, brilliantissima, and also the aureum reticulata with the pink stems and the yellow variegated leaves. I think those look really good with the Hedykya pallida purple heart. I just love that purple foliage contrasting with the lime green and yellow. So some other dahlias that I've left outside for the winter last year is one of my favourites, and this one is Dahlia Bishop of Llandaff, There's gorgeous single red flowers with the yellow anthers, and they go really well with the very dark, almost black foliage and stems. Absolutely stunning. You can see this one has only just started to open, and the yellow anthers haven't popped out yet. I have a hardy lobelia here with red and yellow tubular flowers. And this is Lobelia angustifolia var laxifolia, and these are pollinated by hummingbirds in the wild in North America. Now recently, well today in fact, I have improved my tiki bar by putting some bamboo around it. I wanted to do it last year, but because of the pandemic, bamboo has been quite scarce to get hold of. But this year I've actually managed to get some, and I'm sure you'll agree it's made a massive difference to my bar, and I'm really pleased with the look of that now. This I purchased from UK Bamboo, and I think really now it looks quite stunning. So the only thing I need to get to complete my tiki bar now is some proper bamboo bar stools. I haven't found the right ones yet. I'm not going to rush it, so I'll obviously keep you posted when I've got them. But they look really good now with the thatched roof and my cabbage palms or cordyline fruticosa, which grow all over the South Pacific and Hawaii and Polynesia, and it goes really good with the bamboo. My cheese plant's done really well, or Monstera deliciosa, and it's looking quite green. It's in shade for most of the day, and of course I do bring this inside for the winter. So just a quick peek inside my bar. Spanish moss there on the left, Tillandsia osneoides. So my Cycas revoluta is looking really good. I don't think it's going to flush this year. It hasn't grown any new leaves this year, but I'm not expecting it to. I find these grow leaves every 2 years. This is a hardy gardenia, and this one's called Crown Jewels, and it's got fantastic scent. If only you could smell it, that fantastic gardenia scent, and it's smothered in flower buds, as you can see. It's fairly hardy in the UK, although what I'll do, I'll pop it inside my tiki bar for the winter in the worst of the cold weather, and then just pop it back outside on the decking when it warms up a little bit. But on the whole, they're pretty hardy, probably hard to about -10, but the scent is incredible, drifting around at the moment. And my Howier palms looking good too. So a quick look across the garden. So my encetimonte balardii Eye is getting really big now. It will just get bigger and bigger each year, of course. Just like my Beautia palm. Underplanted with Salvia Vanguard. Small Washingtonia palm, and my Bromeliads Ecmia blanchetiana, which is going lovely in orange now. Good contrast with the Aeonium Schwarzkopf. Next to that are Agapanthus. Lovely blue flowers, originally from South Africa. And just look down on top of the Musa Helens hybrid and the Dahlia Conora Sunset and the Musa Basjou and the Ensetti Morelli Eye. Now here's my Yucca elephanti piece, or Yucca giganteum as it is now. It did go for that -7, amazingly, and of course it's looking a bit rough here. Some of the older leaves were damaged, but that's what happens in the wild, of course, and the new leaves on the top are looking really good. So it is amazing really to think that that's what, 3 meters tall, and it's survived a few UK winters. We've got Musa dwarf Cavendish, which is tender but lovely speckled foliage, and the bird of paradise, Strelitzia regina, which again I'll bring in. We've got Tibucina ovaliana, which I have to bring inside, with gorgeous purple flowers. It's produced one, which is a bit deformed really, but I'll get plenty of new ones soon, and that will flower in late summer into the autumn. Absolutely stunning. And if I look round here, up by the house, you can see I've got various elephant ears, alocasia, calidora, and the colocasia coal miner with those gorgeous, almost black foliage, absolutely stunning. And the alocasia macrorrhiza. Lots of bromeliads. If you've watched my videos before, you know I'm a bit of an I have an obsession with bromeliads. You can see Sansevieria, as they used to be called, or Dracaena trifasciata, which are houseplants, but I love to grow houseplants outside. And it's gorgeous Musa arunchatensis, and you can see gorgeous coloration there with the sun shining through the leaf. Brahia armata, which has been pretty hardy with me this winter. See the glaucous blue foliage, absolutely stunning. And the bougainvilleas, which I've placed outside for several weeks now, I've just been flowering their socks off. These are unnamed hybrids, but this one to me looks very much like San Diego red, and you can see that the colourful bracts or modified leaves have those creamy tubular flowers in them, which are pollinated by hummingbirds in South America, where bougainvilleas come from in the wild, and they always look great in blue pots or next to blue pots such as this. Unfortunately I don't know the orange flowered cultivar name, but I just think they look great together, those tutti frutti colours, very tropical looking plants, and they also look really good with the lime green sweet potato too. My Trachelospermum jasminoides is flowering well now, and the scent is beautiful, those gardenia like scent. And this is commonly called the star jasmine, completely hardy for us here. And my hibiscus mostuatus, which I grew from seed, is what, 4 feet tall, 1.2 meters, and it should flower late summer. No signs of flowers just yet, but I'm sure it will. It's looking really healthy, and I'm really looking forward to it flowering for the first time. So it's agave attenuata, which is a non-spiky agave. It's looking really good with these alternanthera planted underneath. And I've got a Ensetti ventricosum, which I'll have to bring in, and a califer here with these red tassel-like flowers. And next to that is a mandevilla, and you can see the flower buds are starting to set there. So this is a red one, so that will be in flower in a few weeks. I'm looking forward to that. So I hope you've enjoyed this week's tour of my exotic garden, and obviously if you have enjoyed it, please watch my other videos, give me the thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And I've really enjoyed showing you around. So bye for now, and see you very soon. Bye.